What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Retro Hoop Collectibles. This is our weekly PSA update on how many cards they graded last week. And I'm pretty impressed. But before we get into that, I first want to apologize for the camera. Something happened with my DSLR that has made me realize that I have a very slow and very old computer that doesn't process high quality video that well. So I'm working on that, but in the meantime, we're kind of back to the webcam. So just kind of excuse the mess. And, you know, I got some stuff going on. We're doing some updating and some moving around and things like that. So if you have not, this is your first time joining me on the weekly update. We do this every Wednesday, 6 p.m. The video drops, and it's a recap of what was graded last week, or what PSA did as far as numbers last week. It originally was in an effort to try to kind of back myself into some sort of a completion date on when they would be, back up and running and maybe opening some additional services and all that stuff, or overall getting caught up. Since then, PSA has clearly made it clear that they're really not concerned too much with getting caught up before opening other services, that they're going to just kind of feather things the way they go. So what this has turned into is really just a weekly recap of what they did last week, numbers-wise. If you have not already, please follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description at Retro Hoop Breaks. Also, if you're wondering how I'm able to display these beautiful cards here, okay, in these awesome cases, you can check the description in the link below to collect3dprints.com. The link's in the description. It's these awesome cases here so that you can display your cards. It's got this cool little kick out that's built into it. Okay, pops out. You pop your card in. Card goes in. Okay, it's pretty dope. Okay, and then you can put it. Once you got that, you can put it on the shelf, and you can display your card. All right. These are awesome. Links in the description. You can go pick up a handful of them. If you are a dealer, if you're an LCS, also you can pick up big bulks for wholesale. Just email us, and links in the description. All the links are in the description for all the stuff. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all that good stuff, yada, yada, yada. Let's get into the numbers. Big. When I say big, I mean, how long have I been doing this? I've been doing this since April 5th of 2021. So since April of this year, I've been doing this. And this is the largest week that I have pulled off of the pop report since I started this. So 5 months ago, a little over 5 months ago. And they did 191,000 cards last week. Now, they're coming off of a really low month last week, right? But I didn't factor in, or I guess I didn't take into consideration Labor Day Monday. Everybody's off for Labor Day. But since then, I mean, they've done, they jumped up massively to ultimately put out their largest week yet. So that's pretty impressive. I'm not sure how much the recent price drop in their numbers, in their the recent price drop for the I think the Express dropped down to like 150 or something like that. How much of that is bringing in more cards for them to grade? I'm not exactly sure how many of you out there are going to grade a card at 150 that you wouldn't have graded at 200. I'm not sure how much that $50 spread is going to really matter to people. But it could absolutely matter a lot. So what that turns into is I really don't know how much inflow of orders they have. However, on the output side, they did just phenomenal. Like I said, the biggest week they've had since I've been doing this, since I've been tracking their numbers. And it's pretty impressive. Almost 200,000. They're almost close to 200,000. And if I had to venture to bet, I would probably say, barring any issues, they're probably going to get there next week. So if I had to put in a prediction right now, I'd put it around here. No, 200,000, buddy. Is that right? Yeah. I'd put it there just because I really think they're going to get there. I mean, I talk a lot about I talk a lot of shit about PSA, but one of the things that I've never talked shit about is their ability to put out cards. They are cranking out grades. They're cranking them out. Now, whether you think that's a good thing, whether you think that's a bad thing, whether you think that hurts the quality of the grade, whether you think that hurts the quality of the handling of the cards, how much time is each person spending with each card, things like that. That's a whole nother discussion, right? But PSA's ability to do volume should not be questioned because they are cranking out volume. The thing is that in my opinion, the reason why they're cranking out so much volume is because they have so much backlog. And because at one point, even 12 months ago or 6 to 18 months ago, in all circles, including myself, I'll throw myself in this mix, PSA was the top tier place to go get your cards graded. That was everybody's general consensus. The hobby as a whole had a general consensus that this was the place to go if you had a monster card to get graded. And because of that, they got hit with an influx of cards. And they have probably are still sitting on quite a bit of that backlog. The question is whether or not that influx will continue given the 18 to 24 month span that has elapsed since that general consensus was true. And now players like an SGC, an HGA, SGC, HGA, CSG, TGT, Pure Graded X, like RCG, which is the Revolution card grade. There's been so many players that have popped up over the last 12 months that whether people like it or not are taking a pretty good considerable market share of the market. So what we're in the middle of right now is it's not typical. And so the numbers are not going to be typical. And this month, the numbers were massive. I mean, this week, the numbers were massive for PSA. Just looking at what they've done this month, almost over 500,000 cards they did this month. And we're maybe about 2/3 of the way. There's 10 days left in the month. So next month we'll see. I mean, at the end of this week, which will be the end of this week will be the 26th, and then we'll go, somewhat into it again next week. It's a big month. I mean, it's a big week for them. Almost 200,000 cards. That's massive. If they have another month like this, you're looking at almost 750,000 cards that they did in 1 month. I wouldn't doubt that they're going to hit 1 million in 1 month. That is insane. That is insane for them to do that amount of volume. And, again, what does that do to quality? What does that do to the grading? What is that? How much time does each person have with the card to really look at it and grade it and be objective about, some of the things that you can be objective about, and how accurate are they being on the things that you can measure, the centering, the corners, the surface, things like that. So even though I see this number and my operations hat or my brain for operations says, wow, that's massive. Good job. There's another part of me that is the consumer and that is the collector, and it is that I am part of the hobby, and saying, what does that do to quality? So, again, massive week from PSA. I don't even know what to say about that. I think operationally they're doing a great job. Whether or not that's going to turn into quality, who knows? But they're cranking them out. That's for damn sure. So, I'm not going to make this video any longer than it needs to be. I think PSA did a massive amount of cards this week, and they did a great job doing so. What that means in terms of quality, that has yet to be determined and yet to be seen. I think we're seeing a little bit of that in some of the returns that some of you guys are getting, where you're just flabbergasted by the 7 and 6s that you've gotten back on cards that you felt for sure were 9s, possibly 10s. Those are the types of things that we can discuss in the wake of big, massive weeks like this. But yeah, complete through dates, we won't take a look at them. We'll take a look at them early October just to kind of see where the difference is. I think the last snapshot that I took was 9/15. So we'll look at it again in October, middle of October, just to kind of see where it went. But remember, last week when we looked at them, they jumped pretty good. I mean, they're starting to cut down on some of the complete through dates, and we'll see what's what. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. These videos are kind of starting to be very single focused, with just giving you the number and talking a little bit about it and giving you my thoughts on it. So we won't get into too much more. But let me know what you think about that number. Let me know what you think about my thoughts on how looking at this number is a little bit bittersweet. I'm happy that they're doing numbers. I'm happy that they're cranking out stuff. But then there's a part of me that's still thinking, well, what does that do to quality? And what does that do to, how much time each grader actually gets to spend with a card and be objective and be exact and be precise and be thorough in their inspection of that card and giving it a proper grade. Also, as always, let me know what you currently have over at PSA, and does anybody have an order that has been there for at least a year from the time that they received it? I know PSA isn't really considering it in their system until they put it in their system. However, I think that's kind of a chicken shit way of not taking responsibility. Once the package is in your possession, it is the clock starts. I don't believe in this whole thing about, getting 2 or 3 months with a package in your hands and then not doing anything with it and not starting your clock until you actually put it in your system. So tell me, do you have an order that you're currently waiting on that has been there for more than a year? If you do, let me know. Let me know how many cards and let me know what delivery service you paid for. That's going to do it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all for watching. We'll catch you guys next week on the next update. I'll be catching up on videos this week. You guys might notice that I didn't do a video on Monday because I was having issues with the camera and all that stuff. That's all cleared up now, or at least there's a Band-Aid on it. I'll be cranking out some more stuff. Big news in the hobby that I'm trying to confirm. Somebody mentioned it during our live chat this past Saturday regarding BGS, that if it's true, then I got some thoughts about that. So I'm still trying to do some research and trying to at least be somewhat responsible in terms of my, I guess, journalism, if you want to call it, because I don't want to talk about it unless there's some evidence of it out there. Yep, that's going to do it. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Follow me on Instagram. Check out Collect 3D Prints in the link below. And I'll catch you guys next time. Love y'all. Peace.